You know that feeling, right? That moment, you're getting ready, outfit's okay, it works, but maybe something's missing.
Yeah, like it needs just one more thing.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
then you add that one piece, maybe it's a big necklace or some really bold earrings, and bam, it all just clicks.
Hmm.
You stand up straighter, you feel, I don't know, ready. It's like a switch flips. It's quite tangible.
That feeling, yeah, that sense of being instantly kind of elevated, it's incredibly powerful.
Totally.
And it's fascinating because it connects so directly to the source material you brought for us today for this deep dive.
Absolutely. So, today we are diving deep into statement jewelry. We're using an article from Jewelry Bubble as our guide here.
Right.
And it really explores this connection, doesn't it, between the jewelry you choose and that boost in how you feel.
Does. So our mission really is to unpack this source, go beyond just the words on the page, and, understand the power and the purpose that the article sees in statement jewelry. What's it really saying about how these pieces work in our lives?
And this article, it looks like it offers some pretty interesting angles. It doesn't just treat them as, simple accessories.
Not at all.
It frames them as much more like a type of silent communication, expressing who you are without needing words.
Yeah, and it also pushes back on the idea that these are just for, like, super special occasions. It argues, quite strongly actually, for how versatile they can be.
Oh, interesting.
How a really well-chosen piece can genuinely take you from, say, your workday right into the evening seamlessly.
The article even gets practical, suggesting how to find pieces for different life stages or style preferences. It uses these categories, right?
Yeah.
Career focused, balanced, multitasker.
Yeah, confident trendsetters, yeah, to show how your needs might change and your jewelry choices along with them.
And I'm really curious to dig into what the source says about the psychology of color in jewelry. That sounds fascinating.
Me too. How different tones, gold, silver, bold colors might project different things, different feelings.
Plus, practical tips. We love practical tips. Like,
Yeah.
it mentions something called the rule of three.
Yes. And specific advice on pairing jewelry with necklines, which is always helpful.
Definitely.
And then it kind of circles back, wrapping it all up by talking about building a collection, quality over quantity, and how the right pieces tie directly back to confidence, how you feel.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's unpack this article and see what insights we can pull out about using statement jewelry to feel, well, like the best version of yourself, just like the piece suggests.
Sounds good.
So the source kicks off talking about that feeling we mentioned, that almost like magical rush of confidence when you put on the right piece. How does it actually explain why that happens?
Well, it positions statement jewelry not just as, something added to an outfit. It calls it an extension of your personality, explicitly.
An extension of personality. Okay.
Yeah. The idea is that these pieces are a nonverbal way to express yourself. They're essentially speaking for you, communicating who you are, or maybe who you aspire to be, before you even say a word. It's like putting something on that instantly aligns your outside with your inside.
That's a really interesting way to frame it, like a visual statement of intent, almost. And the source seems really keen to shift the perception away from these pieces being only for rare, special moments. It talks about versatility.
Exactly. It argues pretty strongly against saving statement pieces just for weddings or big parties.
Yeah.
It makes the case that a well-chosen piece can work double duty,
Right.
seamlessly transitioning from, like, your 9 to 5 right into evening plans. It gives examples like a bold pendant jazzing up a simple blazer,
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
or how really striking earrings can totally change a casual weekend outfit, make it feel more deliberate, more polished. The core idea is they can be your everyday confidence boosters.
Not just tucked away in a box.
Exactly. Not reserved.
Okay, so if they're meant to be versatile, expressive parts of our sort of everyday identity, how does the article suggest finding pieces that actually fit you, where you are in life? It breaks it down a bit.
It does. It offers suggestions based on, let's call them, potential lifestyle stages. It links them loosely to age, but it seems more about the demands of that stage.
Got it.
So for the career-focused professional, maybe roughly 25, 35, the article recommends things like structured geometric designs, pieces you can layer to customize your look.
Adaptable.
Yeah, even convertible jewelry that can change from day to night. It's all about supporting adaptability in that kind of dynamic professional world.
So, jewelry that's as flexible as your schedule needs to be. What about the next stage it mentions, the balanced multitasker, around 35, 45?
Right. For that phase, the piece highlights needing durable yet elegant pieces. things that can handle a busy schedule.
Makes sense.
It suggests things like mix and match sets, makes it quicker to pull looks together, and designs where comfort is as important as style. It pictures someone juggling a lot, needing their style to be effortless but still impactful.
Effortless elegance, okay. And then for the confident trendsetter, maybe 45-55, the focus seems to shift again.
It does. The article points towards more bold, artistic pieces here. Tireless designs with modern twists. It talks about focusing on investment-worthy statement pieces, things that might even start conversations.
Ah, okay.
So as the article sees it, this stage is less about adapting to different contexts and more about really cementing a distinct, sophisticated personal style through your jewelry choices.
It's really interesting how it connects the jewelry directly to those life demands. Now, beyond style and life stage, the source dives into something else, the psychology of color. How does it say color affects things?
Yeah, this is where it gets into the subconscious messages, you know. The article argues color isn't just decoration, it's projecting something meaningful.
Like what?
Well, for instance, it suggests gold tones project warmth, success, maybe even confidence. Makes them good for times you want to feel empowered, like a big meeting or a celebration.
Okay, gold for power. What about silver?
Silver tones, the article notes, tend to convey sophistication, modernity. So good choice for maybe more contemporary looks or professional settings where you want to seem approachable but still sharp.
And bold colors, like bright reds or deep blues.
Those are framed as ways to express creativity, individuality, perfect perhaps for personal time, social events. The source says they communicate confidence and a willingness to stand out.
It even mentions earth tones, like browns and greens.
Right, for projecting approachability, feeling grounded, think casual meetings, weekend stuff. It's almost like the color of your jewelry sets an emotional tone for an interaction. It's quite subtle.
Very subtle, yeah. Okay, moving from the psychology to the practicalities, the source offers actual styling tips. That rule of 3 you mentioned earlier.
Yes, I thought that was quite a useful, simple guideline.
Let's break that down. What does the article mean by it?
So the rule of 3, as the source presents it, is basically a way to create visual interest without going overboard. It suggests picking one main focal point, maybe that really bold necklace.
Okay, 1-star piece.
Exactly. Then one supporting piece, like a bracelet that complements it but doesn't steal the show. And then one subtle accent, maybe a simple ring.
So it creates balance.
Right. It's about creating a sort of cohesive story with your jewelry rather than just, piling everything on.
Yeah.
A balanced, intentional look.
That makes sense. A clear system. The article also talks a lot about necklines, doesn't it?
It does, puts a lot of emphasis there.
Yeah.
Because the jewelry and the neckline really need to complement each other, not fight for attention.
Right. What are some examples it gives?
Clear ones, like V-necks are perfect for pendant necklaces. They just follow the line. Crew necks provide a nice, solid backdrop for showing off statement earrings.
Okay.
Off-the-shoulder tops, because there's no real neckline there, are great for drawing attention to eye-catching bracelets or rings.
And strapless.
Strapless dresses or tops are presented as like the ultimate stage for really bold, maybe elaborate necklaces that can really stand on their own.
Got it. And another practical tip, the article highlights mixing metals. That used to be a big no-no.
Totally. But the source says, very clearly, that the old rule of sticking to just gold or just silver is basically over.
Good to know.
Today, mixing gold, silver, even rose gold, is seen as stylish, modern. The key, the article stresses, is doing it intentionally.
How so?
Choosing pieces that maybe share a similar design style or texture or level of detail, even if the metals themselves are different. That creates the connection.
So it looks deliberate, not accidental.
Precisely. And that allows for so much more flexibility in your collection. And speaking of collections, the source has advice on building one too.
Right. What does it suggest starting with?
It suggests starting with a few key essentials. Pieces the article sees as foundational if you want to use statement jewelry effectively.
Like a starter kit.
Kind of. It recommends having one great pair of show-stopping earrings, a really bold necklace, an eye-catching bracelet or cuff, and a statement ring. These are positioned as the core pieces that can elevate lots of different outfits.
And the guiding principle for building this out. The article hammers this point home. Right.
It really does. It's firmly quality over quantity.
That feels important.
It is. The article strongly advises against just accumulating tons of trendy, maybe cheaper pieces you'll wear once or twice. Instead, it advocates investing in fewer but higher quality items.
Just things you actually love.
Things you genuinely love and will reach for again and again. It suggests looking for good craftsmanship, paying attention to details, checking if they're comfortable to wear.
Wearability is key.
Absolutely. And finding designs that feel timeless but still have that, touch of modern relevance.
Because ultimately, all of this, the style, the color psychology, the styling tips, building the collection, it all funnels back to that central theme the source keeps highlighting, the confidence connection.
Yes. This is where the article's message really lands, I think. It states pretty boldly that the right piece of jewelry doesn't just complete an outfit.
It does more.
It claims it completes your confidence. It shifts the focus away from just external approval towards that internal feeling it gives you when you put it on.
That moment you described at the start, looking in the mirror and feeling ready.
Exactly that internal feeling of confidence. The source argues that this feeling radiates outward. It affects how you carry yourself all day, your posture, your energy, how you interact with people.
Wow.
It directly links the physical object to a behavioral and emotional shift.
So from the source's perspective, investing in those quality pieces that really resonate with your style, it's not just buying pretty things.
Not at all. It's presented as a direct investment in yourself, in cultivating that feeling of confidence.
It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just how it looks to how it makes you feel. That's where the real power lies, according to this piece.
That's the core message.
Okay, well, that brings us towards the close of our deep dive into statement jewelry, really guided by this Jewelry Bubble article. We've touched on how the source sees these pieces as tools for self-expression.
There's surprising versatility.
The whole psychology of color, those practical styling tips, and ultimately how it all connects back to building confidence.
And the source really hammered home that point. The true value isn't just visual. It's deeply connected to that internal boost.
Right.
It argues that feeling good about how you look, that confidence, really does impact how you move through your day.
And as the article suggests, building that collection of quality pieces that truly speak to you. Well, it's less about fashion trends and more an investment in your own self-assurance.
Exactly. An investment that radiates outwards.
So as we wrap up, here's something maybe to think about, inspired by the article's final emphasis. Consider the jewelry you own or maybe pieces you find yourself drawn to. Do you have a go-to statement piece? If so, how does it specifically make you feel when you put it on?
And why do you think that connection is so strong
Yeah.
between, a physical object and that internal feeling?
Yeah, what does that particular connection tell you, drawing on the spirit of this source, about the link between expressing yourself and feeling confident? Something to ponder.